And just like that, we begin the journey. This is a full 1 hour skincare treatment. Every step was designed to heal, restore, and bring out the natural confidence of our client. So, first, we're going to put on our gloves, make sure they're snug and fit, no gaps in between. And then I did put on hand sanitizer, just the practice that we were taught. Yes, your gloves are clean, but I touched a bottle, so sanitize. After that, we are getting out our warm towel. We don't want anything hot on our face, but of course we test it on our wrist just to make sure, again, it's not too hot for our client décolleté and for their face. For those of you who don't know, the décolleté is your below your neck, above your chest. And a lot of people, unfortunately, don't take care of their décolleté. So when you look at them, you might be able to tell their age because they've been sun damaged or different things like that because they don't wear sunscreen. We're supposed to take care of our décolleté and our skin. What you do to your face, you do to your décolleté. So while the client has the warm towel on her face, I am going ahead and cleansing doing my aromatherapy just so she can enjoy her experience. If I'm not mistaken, this was lavender, but we just are asking her to breathe through the towel because, of course, it's not over her nose, it's surrounding her nose. So she's able to breathe that lavender in and just relax and really enjoy her facial. Although in our spa, and I believe I do have a later video for that, the lights would be off. But of course, this is our training class. So, of course, after we take the warm towel off her face, we have a special bin that we call them soil towels, used towels, go into. So here I am getting her deep cleanse or giving her a deep cleanse with our Murad products. Just making sure, again, because I put the warm towel on her décolleté, I'm going to make sure I also cleanse her décolleté. Because what you don't want to do when we get to the massage, you don't want to massage a clean face and then go to a dirty décolleté. That's not good. So if you are going to massage the décolleté, you need to cleanse the décolleté. And right here, I'm cleansing her décolleté so that when I'm later massaging her, everything is clean and pristine. So again, just making sure she has that deep cleanse. I went back twice for the cleanser. Once I saw the cleanser was no longer foamy in my hand, I did go back and get some more and just continue making sure that her skin is clean because she is of a mature age, but also she has oily skin. So just making sure we're removing all of those impurities. After which, I do go back into my hot towel cabinet and get her a lukewarm towel. Again, starting at her décolleté because I did cleanse it, and it's so warm and cozy feeling when you have that warm towel on your décolleté, and she is really enjoying herself. And then once the heat goes to your décolleté, then I put it on her onto her face. And what I'm doing is getting all of that cleansing product off, just making sure that I'm starting with a clean face. Then I go into my exfoliant, and I did notice that on her face and her décolleté, she did have patches of bumps. So the exfoliant was really good for cleaning out her pores and giving her a deeper cleanse. Then again, back with the warm towels. A lot of people or other estheticians use sponges. Personally, I like a hot towel. For me, again, it makes my client feel comfortable, and also to me, again, my preference, it allows me to get all of the product off in one or two swipes versus sponges. They can sometimes get a bit soapy even after you put them in water. So I don't like that feeling. afterwards, after cleansing her again with the hot towel, I go and I put eye patches on her eyes because I'm analyzing her skin. I can just tell from my initial cleanse that she has oily skin based on the texture of her skin and, of course, where the bump sat. But under a magnifying glass, 5 diopters, you can really see skin. And we're just talking, and I'm asking her questions about her job, and does she spend a lot of time outside, and does she wear makeup, and is she cleansing her skin properly, is she touching her skin a lot, what about her cell phone, when she talks on the cell phone, is she having it on her face? So we talked about all of those things, and then afterwards I'm gonna, because I did notice that she needed some extractions. So to start the extractions, I need to soften her skin. So that's where my steamer comes in at. And before, as my steamer is warming up, I'm actually giving her a massage on her décolleté and her neck, just to, again, make her feel comfortable. Sometimes waiting on the steamer can seem like a long time, which is only 2 or 3 minutes. So I'm just making sure my client is comfortable. So once the steam, and once I got her face to the, I guess you could say, the right softness, I am then again going in with her massage and on her décolleté, just finishing that up. And then I am about to prep her for her extractions. So with the extractions, we had an extractor tool, and then you need a gauze. But before I start her extractions, I just pat her face dry, because you don't want to have a wet face with extractions. It could tear the skin, cause a bruise, just cause so much damage to the skin that is unneeded. Of course, when I'm doing my extractions, because I wanted to really see her skin, I got, of course, my magnifying lamp, excuse me. And before, when I prepped her station and I'm able to touch my magnifying glass and then touch her, is because, of course, I sanitize everything. Because I knew I would need my magnifying glass, I made sure that I disinfected it before I even started. And, of course, when you're doing extractions, you start at the chin first, and then you come up the nose, forehead, and then the cheeks. But you work your way from the meatier parts to the non-fleshy parts, such as your forehead. And extraction should take no longer than 10 minutes, because at that point it will start hurting if it's not already hurting, but the skin is no longer soft because there's no heat to it. And you don't want to steam the face, do extractions, and then steam the face again, because it can cause damage to the face because of the heat. So now what I go and get, because again, she does have oily skin, just making sure that her skin or her pores are extra clean, I'm going to my multi-machine, and I am getting my vacuum tool, and basically it sucks up the impurities in the skin, and it has this like really good suction. And again, I'm starting at her chin, on the left or right side, and then going to the left side and working my way up her face. And again, I like to do this after my extractions, just to make sure that I've gotten everything out of the pores that I can. And once I do this, I'm able to know, once it's complete, that her skin is ultimately clean. I started her mask. I actually wanted to do her some high frequency. And what high frequency does, it helps, if you have acne or breakouts or anything, it helps kill that bacteria. Me personally, I do have a high frequency machine at home. I don't use the gauze, but when we're working on clients, of course, we were in a learning spa, we did put gauze on it. I'm just slowly, but in a circle movement, moving my high frequency machine around her face, again killing that bacteria. High frequency also helps with fine lines and wrinkles, and again, she is one of my mature clients. So just making sure I am everything, or every treatment and every tool that is being used in her treatment plan was necessary for her. And like I said, she did have a couple of breakouts, so this was definitely help. And then I took off the gauze and I changed my high frequency tool as well, and this one is more of a zap right to the spot. So again, because I did notice she had breakouts on her cheeks and on her chin, I specifically went and high frequency those spots. And high frequency is electricity, and so yes, it does feel like an electric current being zapped, or being like right there. It's actually one of an esthetician's loudest machines, because especially when it hits the skin, you can hear and you can see that spark if you're really close from the machine to the skin zapping it. And it after I do the high frequency machine, I am going in with her face mask. After you've done extractions, after you cleanse, we want to always put moisture and hydration back into the skin. And so this mask was a hydrating mask, and you usually let your mask sit on the face for about 10 minutes so that the client's skin can really take effect to it. And of course, while she is getting or letting her mask sit, I am giving her a hand massage, and also just making sure that my massage cream, it was a cucumber almond, if I'm not mistaken, but it added moisture into her hands. Because, quick little tip, if you look at someone's hand, you can also tell their age, because most people unfortunately don't hydrate their hands, or they don't moisturize them in general. And so your hands, because when you're driving, normally the sun is hitting it, or when you're outside, normally you're not thinking about, let me put sunscreen on my hands. And so really the sun causes the aging of not only our skin but of our face as well. And then once I'm done with her hand massage, I then again go in and give her a neck and shoulder massage, or applying the products, because I am not a licensed massage therapist, but being an esthetician, we are, by the state of Georgia or whatever state you're in, you are governed to apply products and give a light massage, because we do learn massage techniques. So just want to clarify that, but just making sure she's comfortable within those 10 minutes, really letting that mask sit. And so once the 10 minutes are up, I again go in with my warm towel and making sure I get all of the mask products off of her face. And then once I have done that, because of course, anytime when you're doing a service, whether it's through an esthetician, whether it's through a service job, you always want to make sure you at least change your gloves within a certain amount of time. And even though this was only an hour service, this was the least amount of time I actually changed my gloves. And I personally like wearing gloves, just for the safety of myself and my client. Unfortunately, I have the tendency of cutting my finger, and not, because my hands are like butter, and not realizing that I have a cut until I put hand sanitizer or I wash my hands, get it in hot water. So just for my safety and for my client's safety, I like to wear gloves. Now, by the state board of Georgia and other states, estheticians technically do not have to wear gloves when they're giving a service, except for when we're doing extractions and waxing. But again, I like to wear my gloves at all times. So once I finished getting all of her mask off of her face, I did take those gloves off. Well, I did change my gloves after the extractions, but then I put on new gloves again after I cleaned off her mask on her face. So now I'm just again putting on my new gloves, and we are wrapping up the service with her moisturizer and her, again, sunscreen. There is, black people always say we don't need sunscreen because, we're black and it's melanin. No, we are damaging our skin. When you go outside and you're getting a darker shade, that is your melanin in your skin actually coming to the surface to protect you, almost like little umbrellas. So yes, we need to help us help you. That's what your melanin is saying to you. So yes, use your sunscreen. How do you think, other other cultures are, their skin don't crack and it's beautiful because they use proper skincare treatments such as sunscreen. Anytime you go out into the sun, whether the sun is out, even if it's an overcast, wear your sunscreen. That's just me. I'm off my soapbox now. So again, just finishing up with her moisturizer and her sunscreen, so that because I extracted her, I did cause trauma to the skin. I just want to make sure that I'm able to help her heal it. And this is what her afterglow looks like. So she looked wonderful. Her face was glowing. And that's what you want, a healthy, glowing, slightly acidic, bouncy face. And that has been a full facial treatment. I'm glad you stayed and enjoyed. Thank you. Like our video.